I am totally going to turn out to be right, by the way, about that. I'm going to double and triple down on recording, by the way, of, yep, I'm going to be totally right, and Zero's going to look stupid. You're going to find out what this is about in about a year, audience. But,
I'm just writing down notes that you
Oh,
now
yeah.
have doubled and tripled down.
Oh, yeah.
I really strongly feel like if you pair things together like this, you should probably just release them together. Like, we don't date our random A episodes, so like,
Maybe.
it's fine. You don't have to post them in order.
I mean, gonna see how that goes. Anyway. Yeah, so... podcast, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
been a little bit.
I hope people have things to talk about.
I watched a lot of things.
Cool.
I did the full circuit, everybody. I watched
Oh, God.
both Oppenheimer and Barbie.
Please tell me you didn't do it back to back.
I did not do it back to back.
Okay, good, because I
Okay.
feel that's a really stupid trend that I feel like would ruin both films.
No.
Would it? I feel like it'd make one of them better. Whichever one you saw second, you're going to be primed in the opposite direction. So yeah, I don't know.
So like, I went to go see Oppenheimer with my family, right?
Mhm.
And that is a almost 3 hour long movie.
It's a long one.
From my understanding, it is a 3-hour long film where dudes in the 40s talk and smoke and wonder aloud whether they're going to set the atmosphere on fire.
It is I would say it is a good movie, except it's too long. Like, the actors are phenomenal. Like, they cover all of like how the development of this thing came to pass, before it was even like we're going to build the bomb. It's just like, oh, we're studying this particular part of physics, and this part of like.
And to clarify, I didn't mean my summation to say that it was shit. I was just saying that's what
Of
it is,
course.
and I have heard it's fantastic. So,
It is, yeah, and so they go through the whole process of, okay, here's how Oppenheimer was. Here was how he studied and who he studied with. How that eventually leads and ties into the building of the bomb, and then the aftermath of that, the backlash, the regret. People saying, "Do we even need to do that?" And then like even talking about, well, what about the H bomb next? And how Oppenheimer reacted to all of that. It is a good movie. It is extremely well acted. It is too long. And the editing is confusing at times, because they will jump from time period to time period sometimes with little to zero indication.
That's rough. That's the worst.
that's some David Cage right there.
At first they do this thing where like, okay, so this part is black and white, and that takes place in like the future, right? But then they drop the black and white part, and they still jump to that time period.
Oh, no, you can't do that. It's not. You got to keep it consistent at least.
Because the black and white is only when that in that time period focused on one character. When Oppenheimer's in that time period, there's no black and white filter.
I said a David Cage thing. I didn't actually know that Christopher Nolan was the one that was behind Memento, so he's just going back to the Memento well. Yeah. Historical piece, maybe not the best.
So that gets confusing. But like those are my only two real complaints about it. Honestly, is an expertly well done movie. Otherwise, it's also like really bassy, like loud bass on that.
I mean, this is this is the guy that invented the blah. So
Yeah,
you know,
which might not be so bad if you're like streaming it or like watching it on like DVD, but when you're in the theater, it can be hard to hear what characters are actually saying
Mm.
at times because of that bass. Which, you know, you're watching a movie about the atom bomb, of course they're going to have bass. But yeah, no, I liked it. I would not watch it again. It's very long. My mom's review, in her infinite wisdom, she walked down and she said it was boring. So to each their own. You might get what you want out of it, you might not. And then there was, yeah.
I can definitely see getting bored if it's that long. Even if there are interesting parts, it gets buried underneath all the nothing. So like,
There's a lot of it that's just people talking in rooms.
Yeah, I can see that.
So a lot of just shot, reverse shot, talking in room, talking in room, talking in room.
If you can watch, what was it, 12 Angry Men and enjoy it, then you will probably enjoy Oppenheimer a lot, from my understanding.
Yeah. Let's see. Robert Downey Jr., by the way, is in Oppenheimer, and I didn't recognize him because he did such a good job playing a completely different person.
Man's a good actor.
Yeah, no, he really did a fantastic job. And then I went and I saw later, because my parents went on vacation. My brother went to go visit his girlfriend in Reno. So I am alone. I decided that I would head over to the movie theaters and walk alone into the Barbie movie.
Okay.
And that movie is an isekai.
Yeah. Well, technically a reverse isekai, but yes.
No, but then they go back into the world with humans, so it is an isekai. It's reversed that then turns into regular. That's a really good movie. It's really funny. It's really fun. I like the core message that it has. Though there are parts of it that harm it. Harm that message. Which is like the I don't know how I want to say this without it coming out wrong. But with a movie targeted towards women, there is that bit of, like, a movie targeted towards men, you have that bit of like catharsis or power fantasy, in a sense. Where it's like, okay, the patriarchy is wrong, it oppresses women. So instead, we are going to do a matriarchy that oppresses men instead. And we're not going to give them any say in their government at all. Maybe eventually. And that kind of is a weird like thing they throw in towards the end after the whole journey, and it's just like, okay, I don't know how I feel about that one.
I'm going to make a pull that a lot of people won't get, but I'm reminded of Agatha from that description. Yeah. AKA the worst part of Fate Grand Order's story. Just gonna clarify that much, and that's probably as much as I'm gonna bother with. It was very stupid. I did a similar thing.
So, you know, there is some stuff that is like good discussion on, like, you know, on like, you know, women's struggles and so on. And it is a very feminist movie, but there's also a bit of that, like, stereotyping of men, and again, ending with like just the reverse of the initial situation. Which is unfortunate. Harms the message, which is like the actual story that Barbie goes through, and the actual story, the actual like development that Ken goes through, which is really good. It's just the surrounding like messages around, like everything else around them that just is weird.
Hmm.
Because I went out of it, I was like, this is a great movie. I think a lot of people should see it. But like the more I was thinking about it, the more I was like analyzing it, the more I was like, I don't feel entirely comfortable. Like this doesn't feel like this was wholly one vision, if that makes sense.
I mean, let's be perfectly real. The filmmakers probably had an idea of what the film was going to be, and then Mattel were like, "Hey, we gotta sell these fucking things. So, how about you sit down and shut up, and we put our fucking dicks on the table and tell you what you're gonna do."
I was
Pretty
fully
much.
expecting, yeah, I do think that Mattel's influence, actually made the movie worse. Because Mattel as a company shows up in the movie, by the way.
Of course they do.
And at first, it would be like, okay, it makes perfect sense that
On the
they
mic.
are. At first, it's like it makes perfect sense if they are the villains, right? If the
Yeah.
end goal is that, but instead, they just kind of like they chase Barbie for a bit, and then ultimately don't contribute much to the movie at all. It's weird. Um,
Yeah, I really do think this was a case of corporate meddling and just muddying everything. I'm not surprised at all to hear that.
yeah. So I still think it's a good movie, but there definitely is some stuff in there that I don't personally agree with. But I had more fun with Barbie than I did with Oppenheimer. To be honest, it's funnier.
One would hope so. I mean, damn, I went into Schindler's List. Where were the fucking jokes? Come on.
Man, just seeing Albert Einstein with a haunted expression look on his like that, I know that's not funny. He needs to do like a wink and like stick his tongue out.
When's he gonna rap battle Stephen Hawking?
Yeah. I also saw the because this was released, I didn't even notice. So the Sonic Prime show had its second season come out. That's still a very good show.
I didn't know the first had come out.
You didn't know that?
Nope.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
It's out.
I didn't realize it had a season 2, but that would explain why it was on my Netflix feed.
Yeah. It was
Oh
because I believe
shit! I've got to
yeah.
subscribe to Netflix. Oh, I hate everything. I have to
Oh, I'm sure you
subscribe
can
for...
find it somewhere.
No,
I
different reasons.
really
We'll get to it.
I really enjoy the writing of Sonic Prime, and the characterization of all of the characters is still just fantastic. Especially because Shadow gets more screen time, and he is just that's perfect. That is Shadow the Hedgehog, and he is right about a lot of things, and I like it. He's not like needlessly edgy for no reason. He's just genuinely pissed off that Sonic keeps making bigger messes,
Yeah, that's fair.
and it's like, I want to do this job instead of you because you clearly cannot handle the situation. It's like, no, that's fair. So, really enjoy that. Recommend you go watch Sonic Prime if you have a Netflix, or you have alternative channels through which you may find things.
I just might binge that tomorrow.
I also saw with my mom Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Oh, that was really good.
Didn't
'Cause
you
that came
watch
to
that
streaming?
already? Or...
I did not watch that before.
Oh.
I did.
Oh, that would be it then. Yeah.
It is a very good movie. That is one of the best animated movies I think I've ever seen. So it's now available for streaming. Go watch Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. You don't have to watch the first Puss in Boots animated movie. People forget about it. It's fine. You will still enjoy it. It has a strong core message. It's constantly funny. and just entertaining, heartwarming characters. That is a fantastic movie.
And a great villain. Holy shit. Several of them, actually.
Great villains. All very distinct and unique and memorable in their own ways. And other than that, I've just watched the first episode of the new season of The Witcher. It's the last season with Henry Cavill. That seems good. Gonna see more of it. Don't have much more to say on that. And I walked in on my dad watching the final episode of Marvel's Secret Wars. So I've only seen the final episode of Secret Wars.
I can see how that would be very confusing.
I wish you had not paused in the middle of that sentence.
Agreed. Thought that
I
was going
walked
different
in
places.
on my dad.
Pause.
My goodness, what's wrong with your minds?
Like
You
this-
paused intentionally, you asshole.
There's
So-
not many good places that sentence goes, so, you can understand
Marvel's-
concern.
Marvel's Secret Wars. I can tell I've only seen one episode, but I understand why nobody's talking about this show.
I
Man.
will be perfectly honest, I watched a review because I do not care to watch Marvel stuff anymore at all. Like, literally none. Don't care. But, yeah, apparently the first half of it was intriguing. The second half squanders absolutely fucking everything about it.
Oh, that's a shame.
There's,
It's always bad when things are, good and then they get terrible.
there was not a single thing that happened that felt like the writing felt extremely dry, I guess. Like, it's boring. It doesn't feel like there's any heart or passion or human experience in the actual script. It's just boring. Like, this
Like
happens.
we've
and
hit
then
the end
this-
of our ideas and everything is played out kind of deal.
Yeah, like there's one fight sequence that happens, and that's kind of cool. That's kind of fun and creative. But every single line of dialogue is just dull. And Samuel L. Jackson is phoning it in the whole time.
That's disappointing for a lot of reasons. Most primarily, I am not concerned about spoiling this fucking show for people, by the way. I just
It's
want
been
to
out for a
throw
while,
out
too.
that warning for right now. Yeah, so my understanding is Secret Wars was supposed to be a story that heavily involved Maria Hill in the comics. Like, it was more her story than Nick Fury's.
Yep.
They fridge her in episode 1.
Oh.
I didn't even see that. What the heck? What?
Yeah.
I like Maria Hill.
Yeah, she dies in episode 1 to motivate Nick Fury to do stuff.
No.
That is one of the most textbook fridgings I've ever heard of.
Oh, that's the worst. I actually like that character. Oh my god. Oh. That makes everything so much worse.
Yep. It's her story. She dies in episode 1 for the sake of another character. And as I often do, because, Samuel L. Jackson has gone on record as saying he kind of throws his weight around sometimes about what he wants out of his projects. I have concern that he was like, I'll be in this thing if you make me the main character. I hope he
That's
didn't do that, because
Possible.
that would be...
It's possible, but if he did, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't really know what the story was originally about and just didn't care. If he intended to kind of phone it in from the start, yeah.
That show that no one's talking about cost a total of $200 million, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Did not make back its money.
It might eventually, but it's not going to do it anytime soon.
Yeah, I was turned off from it when I learned that the opening was AI generated.
Oh, great.
They did some thinking for how to justify that, and the justification was it's supposed to look unnatural and weird. That's why we had AI do it, so it would be uncanny, as though real artists haven't been able to do that in the past. And
Yeah,
I loved
no.
my favorite example of that was someone posting the opening to the MIB cartoon.
It's like, hey, why is there currently a writers and actors strike? And it's like because of stuff like this.
Mhm.
Which the script does feel like it might have been written by an AI and edited.
Let's be
Given
perfectly
how-
honest. Disney writing stuff has not been good in the first place for the past however fucking long. So it doesn't have to be AI. It could just be they fucking cheaped out on writing like they usually do.
So the whole thing about Secret Wars is about the Skrull infiltrating society in the world, and they could be right next to you, plotting your destruction. Except they already did that with the Captain Marvel movie with the Skrull.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do it again. We're gonna say because of that blip and Nick Fury being gone for 5 years, some of the Skrull are angry and don't like him, and also because he apparently sent them on missions or stuff and used them while he was searching for a new world for them. So there's a faction that doesn't like him, but there's a faction that does like him and doesn't want to kill humanity and steal our world, I guess. It's just kind of dumb, honestly.
And I spoiled episode 1, but I'm kind of tempted to spoil the ending too.
I mean, go for it. I don't care.
So Rhodey's a Skrull. War Machine.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, they kidnapped him and then replaced him with a Skrull.
Would you like to know when they kidnapped him?
When they changed actors, I assume.
No.
Oh,
They kidnapped him
really?
after Civil War. Because he got injured in Civil War. And they swapped with him then.
I didn't know that.
And, you know what happened between Civil War and, now?
What?
His best friend dying?
Yeah.
That whole scene with, him being there
Way to
when
make-
Tony Stark saved the world and died doing it.
Yeah.
That they completely just 100% undermined.
Or
Great.
like how he literally got dusted before and it was an emotional moment. That was a Skrull that got dusted. We don't know more about that.
Yeah.
Or how he had to learn how to walk again. They gave him the robo leg and everything like that. All that stuff that happened with that character never happened.
That's, to be clear, that's what the director thinks happened. I'm pretty sure everyone else is like, no, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. That's not what happened. Because someone saw the writing on the wall of, oh, this fucks up so much.
I didn't see anything in the final episode that confirmed when it happened. Well, it had been for a while, so I'd have to watch the rest of the series, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's bad. Yes, I say.
I didn't say that.
Oh, I just heard. Would you like me to spoil one more thing?
Sure, go for it.
The president declares war on all aliens everywhere.
Yes.
What?
The Skrulls tried to assassinate him and then tried to start World War III. So he decides that I'm going to kill all aliens.
Reminder that there is a colony in Norway of Asgardians.
Yep.
Yeah, aliens have been on Earth for quite a while.
There is the head of a celestial sitting on the fucking polar ice caps.
Is it the head or a hand or both?
Head, I think.
Both. Head and hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know I've only seen the trailer because fuck, I'm not watching that movie. But like, a hand reaches up out of the Earth.
Yeah, it's hand and part of the head, I believe. Don't watch Eternals.
You get the impression that at this point, no one at Disney Marvel is communicating with each other. No one is paying attention to anything else that happens in any of their other projects. In other words, people at Disney Marvel are paying as much attention to the MCU as we are. Yeah.
I had a similar thing happen with She-Hulk, where I walked into the final episode of She-Hulk, right? And I sat there and I watched it, and I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this direction.
What do you think? The reason I know, like, fuck, I'm gonna watch this, like I said, but I did watch the review of the back half of the show. It was Angry Joe that I was watching, to give credit.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes a really good point of, like, you know at the end of She-Hulk, where it does that thing where it talks a bunch of shit about how Marvel things always end with a stupid flashy CGI battle even when it doesn't make sense? You remember how Secret Wars is like a spy thriller that they're doing?
Yes.
You want to know how it ends?
So there's a super flashy battle between two Skrulls who have absorbed the DNA of every single Avenger / metahuman / alien that has ever been important.
Yeah, Korb is one of them, by the way. They use Korb's powers.
They use the one telekinesis guy who worked under Thanos, whose name I will never remember.
I did know it, and I've already forgotten it.
Same.
And I'm like, how did you get that? That guy died in space, and he wasn't around long enough for you to even get any DNA.
He died in space, but another one came back, remember, because of the time travel and shit.
Oh, but he got dusted.
Shut up.
I guess this one didn't.
Yeah.
He literally, like, there was nothing left behind.
They put the dust in there. You know that thing where you take the ashes of a loved one and you put it in an ice cream or something stupid, like fucking stupid, really awful trends? Yeah, they did that. And that's turned it into soup.
You go ahead and try to do that, and you end up getting, like, a horrible Grimace Shake mix, purple and all.
Mm.
From that bit of, like, Thanos and other things and random minion number 48,000. It's over there. Anyway,
that thing was stupid.
Anything else?
Yeah. No, that's it for all the things that I watched. Literally, like, I'm not excited for any upcoming Marvel things. The only superhero-esque thing I'm even slightly excited for is Blue Beetle, and I'm pretty sure because of strikes is that not coming out? Or that delayed? I don't know what's going on with that.
Everything's delayed.
Yeah,
if it wasn't done filming by the time the strike started, it's not happening.
Yeah. So there you go.
Same. I'll probably see Blue Beetle whenever it eventually comes out. But yeah, I'm not really excited for anything else.
I am at the point where you could tell me it's the best thing in the fucking universe. It's the revival of the MCU or whatever the fuck else you want to call it. I will not watch it. Even if it's good, even if it's excellent, even if it's one of the best things the MCU has ever put out, I don't care. Story's over.
Yeah. There's some things that like they do a new Spider-Man. I'll probably go watch that
No, I don't care.
because I like Spider-Man. That's it. I'll go see every Spider-Man movie, even if it's a different actor. I just like Spider-Man.
I mean, that's fair. Everyone gets their thing.
You know what? I'm going to end this on a positive note because we've bitched about the MCU so many fucking times.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what garbage they put out now, and they're putting out garbage, let's be perfectly honest. This is super positive, by the way. I'm being such an upbeat, optimistic person.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter what garbage they're putting out now, the MCU, phases 1 through fucking whatever number Endgame was, that was a fantastic story.
Mm-hmm.
Even the wonky entries, like there's some low points, still a great fucking experience start to finish. And I appreciate the hell out of them for making that and making it work, because that was a miracle from start to finish.
Yeah, it was a fantastic thing. You'll never get a repeat of that. Ever.
No matter how many companies try, and there are companies trying.
There are companies trying. You're not going to get a repeat of that. It's a fantastic thing that happened. And even though they're trying to pump some life into it, we can just appreciate the full run of the story.
Yeah.
Because that is the full run. Hands down.
Yeah. See, there's some positivity for you. Like, a great thing happened, let's celebrate that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, other than that, the only thing that I really did was I ended up getting really into the story of a mobile gacha game called Guardian Tales, which is such a fun game. It's such a yeah. It's Guardian Tales. It's kind of like a sprite based, almost like a bit of a 2D Zelda like, with puzzles and such, and characters that you get that like have combat and everything. But one thing I really like is not only is the game extremely generous and like they put the money that people put into it into adding new side modes, new side content. Like the thing has PvP, it has an entire roguelike mode, it has team deathmatch they added in recently, co-op modes, they have a whole bunch of story modes, and every new story chapter they add in fully animated cutscenes and entire different gameplay sections that have you playing the game in a different way, like flying a dragon through the sky to reach this airship and dodging things like that. And it's a really fun game. And I was really enjoying my time with it because it is full of content.
Awesome.
Like even like events that are like important for understanding characters, they add permanently that you can replay and get all the same rewards that you could before, pretty much.
That's such a good thing.
Yeah.
I know it's FOMO that every other fucking gacha does that for, of just like, hey, it's gone. You can't play it anymore. Fuck you.
That's recently
what
also,
that's for, but I fucking hate it. And I would be so appreciative of any game that is just like, yeah, you can go back and play. Bleach did that. Brave Souls. You can just go back and play all the events that finished.
That's
awesome.
They also have a strategy RPG mode, as well as they just added a farming mode that includes a monster ranch. Like they are constantly putting stuff into this. It's a very fun game, and like, you know how you have like a pity system in normal games where you roll like 300 times and you get what you're guaranteed in FGO, for example.
Okay, you're using the worst possible example.
Yeah,
but yes.
The worst pity, right? So the way it works is every time you can get them through, you can get this currency through events or through rolling called mileage, and mileage lets you can spend 300 mileage to get any character or any exclusive character weapon in the game whenever you want. It doesn't expire. It doesn't go away after a banner goes away. It is constantly there. And the game gives you a ton of free stuff. It's super fun.
Okay.
So that's nice. You know, you might appreciate that more or less depending. You know, your mileage may vary. You know.
Yeah. So if you just so I was enjoying the story, and I got emotional at one point because it was just really good, and I was watching a friend play through the Lost Belt 6 of FGO as well, and that was good. I really like that story.
It's
really,
a
really
good
do.
story. I fucking hate it. Oh.
We were all voice acting the characters in Call. And for those who know, one of my friends was doing for Oberon, whenever he speaks, doing like a Emmett Selk FF14 villain British villain impression every time.
Okay.
So it was a lot of fun, and that's basically it for me. Sorry, I went on for a while.
Oh, that's cool. Guardian Tales,
I mean,
I
I
said that was, right?
Yeah,
think me
Guardian
and Casey
Tales.
are. I don't know if me and Casey really have anything, so
I have a thing, but
You're
I was
good.
kind of hoping Patient would be here by the time for it. So, Slicer, go for it.
it's not gonna be much. All right. My girlfriend bought a house recently. I can't remember if I mentioned that.
Oh, awesome. Good for her.
Yeah, it would be great, except for she's a retired handicapped military vet, and so she has difficulties with mobility. And we bought a house that has no right passing inspection, so the basement is borderline inaccessible to her, and we have extreme foundation issues that should also have not passed inspection. So this house has become a money pit. So that's fun.
No.
So none of the pipes are up to code. The bathroom is very poorly designed and actively falling apart, and the foundation problems. So this week has mostly been spent on getting a bunch of foundation experts in and getting inspections. For anyone who gets inspections done or does any kind of inspections for anything, it took us 5 tries to get someone who actually knew what they were doing. So don't feel bad if it takes a while to get the answers you actually need. Because I know that weighed on my girlfriend pretty badly, of like 4 people in a row saying everything was fine. And I'm like, that does not look fine. And finally someone came out with actually, equipment to do testing and not just spend 5 minutes saying what we wanted to hear, supposedly. So, yep, that's been that. Seen a couple movies. I don't think any of them really stood out. I'm basically just browsing older Netflix stuff to kill time. Played a little bit of Diablo. Season's out. It's been nice. Mostly just because I got to play with family, so that feels really nice. And I think that's it. Yeah, it's been a pretty quick week, honestly, despite the bad news that some days have brought.
Oh. I need to get Netflix.
Yeah.
Those One Piece trailers are good.
Yeah, so I want to talk about those. They look really, really it looks really fun.
It is so very dangerous to have hope for a Netflix anything. Increase that by an order of magnitude for any anime adaptation.
Oh,
Which is to say, an adaptation of an anime. Well, technically, it's an adaptation of a manga, but we have so many examples of how it doesn't work. But it looks good.
It does.
All the cast know what they're about. They know what the property is. They know to varying degrees. I know the Sanji actor does know his shit. And the Luffy actor is super fucking enthusiastic. Like, holy shit. And he sells it as well. I I like how the CGI looks. Even I talked so much. Do you remember how much shit I talked about how they could not possibly do that with the CGI?
Yeah.
I talked so much shit. It looks. It doesn't look perfect, but it looks good. It looks good enough, certainly.
I mean, that's the bar right there. Is it looks good enough? It doesn't need to be perfect.
Yeah, like the fucking Sea King and the Buggy looks weird, but that's kind of the point. Oh man, Buggy is kind of intense. I'm not a fan of how they did all along, but that's that's a really awkward thing to try and figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard with the characters that are like have proportions that are just inhuman, you know?
I don't mind that he's not like 7 or 8 feet tall. Best to set a fucking baseline that we're not going to be doing the 11-foot tall admirals, or anything like that. Like that's not going to fucking happen. But like, yeah, the literal inhumanness of the fishmen is a little. I'm not sure about this, but that's how that goes. And those characters are, for the most part, going away after this first season. Obviously, assuming that there's going to be a second one, especially with writer strikes going on. But
Yeah, we might not get one anytime soon, but I mean, people seem excited about it, and I haven't heard like a downpouring of hate. So
yeah, a lot of people are very, very cautiously but very optimistic about it, and I am included in that number to the point where I will get fucking Netflix. God save me. And they're making story changes too, which honestly are kind of smart. Like some of them, from what I can tell, Don Krieg is not a thing. Which we lose nothing by losing Don Krieg. He is nothing in terms of the greater story.
There's some parts of the story that you can just fast forward past.
They do not fast forward past Kuro, which is interesting. But I assume it's going to be a much shorter incident for that. But I actually think that kind of works because Kuro is kind of an interesting and malevolent presence in the very early series. Whereas Krieg is just kind of a shithead. And even the story itself treats him as just, get out of the fucking way, dude. No one cares. Like,
yeah,
that's great.
So just literally having the writing just get rid of him and knock him out of the way so important characters can be important. That's probably a good call.
Honestly, ever since I saw The Last of Us show, I'm completely down for people changing, how things work. Especially if it's going to a different medium, like that's okay.
If you change it, you should change it in a way that like makes it better fit the medium.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's something that you often see in like the best movie adaptations of things, is that they made changes but it works because those changes were well thought out.
Yeah, like it's sorry, it is a 10 episode show.
Yeah.
We do not have time for a 6 episode fight scene against a dude who just has an increasingly bizarre list of tools and things to be an annoyance.
Yeah, their priority is going to be focusing on getting main cast gathered together.
Not to mention, it's by necessity of being a live action adaptation, it can still be wild and wacky, but it is going to have to be some level of more grounded than the anime. There is no escaping that. So all the bullshit that Luffy went through in that fight against Don Krieg that didn't really accomplish anything for the sake of the story, it wasn't going to fly. So getting rid of that probably. Like, he gets stakes shot through him in that fight.
Yeah. That being said, if they go the Bollywood approach, totally down.
Of what? Just turning the fight scene into a dance number? I mean, I'd be
Just
okay
do
with
just
that.
do wacky things happening, and they don't care. It's just wacky.
I remember hearing the best friends talk about Singham. I saw a single clip. I really want to fucking watch Singham. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Is it really so weird to be optimistic about something?
About a Netflix live action anime adaptation? Yes.
All right, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, yeah.
Like Cowboy Bebop, Full Metal Alchemist. Yes.
Those hearing those words caused me physical pain. So yeah.
Oh, I just remembered something. The new expansion from Final Fantasy XIV was announced.
Oh yeah, you emerged from your Final Fantasy XIV channel ghetto to declare that to the server as a whole.
That was fresh. You did that.
Oh yeah, sorry, that was fresh. You vagrants.
But yeah, no. After the conclusion of the story that's been going on since the very first, 1.0, since the launch of the game, they're moving into a new story, and they are basically being like, okay, your character needs a vacation after all of that.
Final Fantasy XIV is actually doing a summer gacha event, basically.
It's a summer vacation in which, don't worry about it. You're only going to the new world that is like Mesoamerican themed with jungles and undiscovered things and ships, lots of ships and sailing.
Okay.
Yay!
That sounds cool. God damn, I don't want to play 14 again.
The best thing they announced.
The best thing they announced.
What?
0.
I guess it was nothing.
Yeah.
They announced nothing.
The best thing they announced. And Star Wipe and cut. Yeah, no. It's just not talking to us. It was so good he exploded. Hello. Hello. Oh dear. On the one hand, this is kind of awkward, and I don't really know where to go from here. On the other hand, we don't have to talk about Final Fantasy XIV, so it's kind of... I mean, pluses and minuses, pros and cons. Yeah, I don't know whether he's even figured out that something's wrong. Saisa, you still with me? Uh-oh. Saisa? Are you fucking with me? You might actually be fucking with me. Are you fucking with me? Saisa? Friend? Uh-oh. I think everything's fucking up. Oh no. Oh no. I can't hear you. Oh dear. Okay, so maybe Final Fantasy heard me talking shit and they decided this needs to stop. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to end the episode. Because that's just sort of all gone to shit entirely unexpectedly. I'm happy for you assholes who got Final Fantasy 14 content and stuff. That's neat. I'm super happy for you. What's the Fandom Flux podcast? Zero is back in the call, but I'm not hearing him yet. Nope. Still not hearing either of you. Hang on. I'm gonna say no. That was a bad call. Discord. Hello.
There we go. Hello?
Yes. Hello.
Oh. Okay. I switched to my laptop microphone, so that's probably why it noticeably went to garbage.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's weird.
Okay, my internet is back.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
That was just a cavalcade of bad things happening one after another.
What happened?
So you disappeared for a good 30 seconds, and then I'm just sort of talking to myself, just sort of filling time, hoping for you to come back and talking to Slicer, and then I realize Slicer hasn't said anything for a while. Oh no.
Turns out I was saying things, you just weren't hearing me.
Oh no.
So that's I tried leaving the call, I came back, I tried unplugging my mic, plugging back in, and then I just went into my sound settings and set it to my laptop mic. So I hope my blue ball thing is not dead.
Oh boy.
So
that was a thing that happened. Yeah, summer vacation in Final EOS?
also
Is that what it's called, or is that a different thing? I think that might be a different
Final
thing.
Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
It's the Dawn Trail expansion, comes out summer next year. Also, they're adding the ability for everybody to wear glasses as an extra thing that's not even gear. You can just wear glasses.
Oh, good.
Previously, you could only do it as like a fashion accessory, but it was limited, and that you couldn't like go into battle or stuff with it.
Yeah, that's kind of shitty. I wear glasses. I would like my character.
Or it had to be your headpiece gear, right? So you would have to be like, I can't wear my helmet. I wear the glasses instead. So they're making it so that you can wear your helmet and glasses at the same time.
Nerds can't wear helmets.
So you want to wear your head gear or whatever, you can also put on glasses on top of that, which is really nice. Just some good, a lot of good stuff. Too much to talk about off the top of my head.
They're also making the not the previous, but another expansion free to play, is my understanding.
Yes, they're making it. You can play freely up to Stormblood, which is the second expansion. That is a lot of content. That is basically being able to play 3 games for free.
Yeah. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
On a regular basis, I consider playing that game more. Same as with Genshin Impact, actually.
I recommend trying at least, giving the trial a spin.
Yeah, I mean,
you can hop me and the other people who play 14 in the server can.
Nope.
What?
Nope, not doing that again. I feel like that was just kind of what pushed me away the first time. Of just like, I appreciate the intent, I do, of like Fresh trying to guide me around and stuff. Social situations, here's what happens: my brain shuts down. And I'm just sort of responding to stimulus of people talking to me. Okay, you are saying this now? Okay, I will respond. And just sort of everything else is on autopilot, and I'm not paying attention to anything, and it will be completely forgotten the second that the conversation is over.
So that's what happened. I wasn't around for that.
Yeah. So That
Okay, well,
I'm gonna say that wasn't a particularly productive introduction to the game. Unfortunately, I appreciate the intent. I really do. My brain is not coded for that kind of thing.
okay. Well, I think that if you just give it a free try, if you need any help, you can reach out. If you need a party to go join you on a adventure into a dungeon or anything, I can guarantee you that you'll have people jumping over to help you like ASAP.
Yeah.
It's
Honestly,
free game.
honestly, my favorite part of that game is the stupid crafting shit.
Oh yeah, no, they do so much for the crafting. There's entire like tribe quests and storylines devoted to crafting. And just also how you get very rich in the game is through crafting and gathering and crafting things. And you can even get a house in the game and then decorate it with the stuff that you used that you like craft and gather yourself.
Yeah, I'm the guy that played RuneScape and just chopped down trees for 30 hours in a row.
You will actually love it if you get to the island sanctuary, which is an
Yeah, because
entire
that's
island.
a thing for like crafting people, right?
It's a thing for everybody. You don't have to be a crafter or a gatherer, but you can go there, have farming, capture animals to put onto your farm and get materials from, put construction things and upgrade your island and make it look nice and make it functional and give you lots of rewards like special mounts and special gear that you can only get from the island.
Stardew Fantasy.
Yes, it is basically a Stardew side mode in the game. And they're constantly adding on to it with every patch or expansion.
God damn it. Okay, here's the question. Guardian Tales or Final Fantasy XIV?
Okay. I think you have to go through a portion of each game to unlock it. I think it really depends on if you want to just play something on your phone or on your computer.
I mean, it's on my computer either way.
On your computer anyway. Either way.
You know how it
yeah,
is.
I know how. Yeah, I know how you set up actually. Let me look. I want to look at the Island Sanctuary. Okay.
I'm gonna look at some screenshots of Guardian Tales because you said fucking Zelda stuff, and I don't see whether it's gonna be something for me. You said 2D Zelda, in fairness.
Yeah, Zelda-esque, in that you move through tiled screens.
Yeah.
And so in order to get to the Island Sanctuary in 14, you will have to make a significant time investment. Because you
just said it gets good after 30 hours with extra steps. So
okay, Guardian Tales know what they're doing. A link to classic adventure, is it? A link to it?
Yeah. They have that game is extremely funny and has a like just uses a lot of referential sense of humor because they can get away with it. There's an entire part where like somebody's waiting for the master chef and you're on like an alien ship and then they get blasted away because Mr. Chief shows up. But in order to get to the sanctuary, the Island Sanctuary in 14, you have to complete Endwalker, which is the current expansion.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yes.
How much co-op would I have to do that?
In terms of, you're going to be doing a lot of dungeons and raids and stuff, but you do not actually have to talk to anybody to do the main story, in that sense.
Let me once again ask the question. How much co-op? I didn't say talk, I said co-op do I have to do?
Actually, I'm not sure on that because they keep adding in this stuff called duty support or trusts, in which you have a party of NPCs that know how to do everything that can go with you on dungeons and stuff. But they are adding them backwards because they're in all the newer expansions, but they're slowly adding them backwards into earlier stuff.
Okay, so they're slowly starting to accommodate the losers. Okay, understood. Yeah. That's like, it seems like a fun game. Shame about the massively multiplayer part, but the more they accommodate the fact that I hate that shit, probably be fun.
Yeah, I used to be really like not into that at all, but I actually have found that I can just most people already know all the stuff, so I can just go in and they will do their jobs. I do my job, we get out, we're done.
Yeah.
The only frustrating stuff that happens is when you try to go through a separate thing called Party Finder, which you use for those really, really oddly, like extremely specific, like end game content stuff. and then you get a mix. Sometimes you get people who are really cool and that you become friends with, and sometimes you get people that you never want to encounter ever again, and you blacklist them immediately.
I appreciate that you can blacklist people.
You can blacklist people, and you will never get paired up with them in anything ever again. So, yeah.
I forget. Does it have controller support?
Yes,
I feel like it
I
did,
play on controller.
Yeah.
I play on a PS5 controller.
Oh yeah, it's on fucking PS5. Of course it is. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Maybe. I'm gonna end up checking out Guardian Tales and might get sucked into that instead, but we'll see how that goes.
Very possible.
I tend to bounce off gacha games anyway, so it's fine.
It's having its anniversary right now, so you get a bunch of free summons.
Oh, cool. How much are they paying you?
Nothing at all. I just really
Not enough.
You slut.
They should pay me. They should pay me, to be honest.
You should.
I'm advocating for this game because it is literally one of the most fun and nicest gachas I've ever played.
Cool.
So,
maybe on the level of like Cookie Run Kingdom and that then.
Yeah.
Because that was very free to play friendly as well when I played that.
They actually are every single time they update it, they're backwards adding stuff. So like one of the most powerful characters in the game, they just give you for free for story progress.
Cool. Very nice of them. Like, hey,
so
just
yeah,
play the game and enjoy it. That sounds like a really neat business model. Reminds me of I was going to ask Zero, did you play the Mega Man gacha game?
I did.
Was it any good?
I enjoyed it for a while, but the issue is it has like zero story content at all. And then you have the weird gacha scaling of like characters and abilities, but then you apply that to Mega Man level design where things are normally supposed to die in like one or two shots most of the time. And it kind of ruins the game.
So what do you think of the non-gacha version that they're coming out with?
They're coming out with a non-gacha version?
It is called Mega Man X Dive Offline. It is a rescaled version of the gacha game so that you can just fucking play it.
Add in a story mode. Because there's very barely a story already.
Okay, so if it has a story mode, then maybe it's worthwhile. Otherwise, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. I just wanted to know because I was actually curious about that one. I was considering
the biggest complaint that all of the fans had was that there was like no story.
Okay.
Like there is something, but it was very like we're just waiting for more story content. Where is it?
Well, you were because it's shutting down. So
yeah, but it is shutting down. They're gonna do offline, which it's fun because they have fun characters in there. Like they have Mega Man Legends, Mega Man, Volnut, and then they have the villain side version of Volnut when you do like chaos and stuff in Mega Man Legends, who has like sunglasses on and a briefcase, and he just silly stuff like that.
Yeah. I just really like the idea of, hey, We made this gigantic game over the course of several years with many, many content updates. We have a really complete package now. How about we sell it instead of just shutting it down forever? Like, just rebalance shit so it plays well for single player and just fucking let people have it.
I mean, that feels like the best way to get your money out of it, honestly.
I mean, what's the difference at that point? There's no more FOMO. There's no more gigantic whales to milk cash out of. So just get a little bit more money out of it for a very small investment comparatively, and just let the project go that way. Like, there is no harm in that.
Only downside I could see is maybe some last minute, like one final crunch, basically, to get it out the door before the doors are shuttered.
I guess. I mean, you know. Yeah. So, I like that Capcom are doing that, and I would like to see more games do that.
Mm-hmm.
Just, hey, this game exists now. You can just play it. You don't have to do the free to play bollocks anymore. It's just a game.
I'd like to see what it looks like fully complete.
Yeah.
Because that game does not work as a gacha.
Yeah. So I think that covers everything. I'm
Yeah.
probably about to install Guardian Tales. God save me. I keep saying
That's
that
fair.
this episode. I don't know why.
You're not beholden to it. You don't have to.
No, I mean the God save me thing. I keep saying it. And fucking
Oh, fair
that's not a thing I say. Why do I say that?
It's a plea for help from your subconscious.
Well, my subconscious is God because my conscious is also God. So, you know, that makes sense.
That's how it works.
Yeah, sure.
So, the ego, superego, and id. It's the Father, Son, and the Holy Asshole. Yeah.
So my laptop is overheating and starting to like get really warm in my lap. Maybe we could.
Yeah, so is my brain.
Yes.
We should probably end this now. I think that's-
Yeah.
So it's not August yet, so we can't do Patreon. So fucking Discord link in the description, Patreon link in the description if you feel like it. Thanks. This is a podcast. It's 4:01, by the way. We didn't notice last week. Nobody cares, but it's 4:01. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye everybody.
Bye.
Yes.